Monday morning, don't forget to vote.
Right off the hop.
Why? You know what? No reason to not vote today. Please.
I have a reason not to vote today.
Because you
I already voted.
I did too.
Yeah, did you?
Yes, I did.
Good for you. Good for us.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's really important to do that. I really, the older I get, the more I think it's so important.
The more we look at what's going on in other countries, the more we realize how important it is.
You know what? This is the chance for you to have your say. And not enough people came out to the last municipal election, so I think we need to have more, and young people need to get out as well.
Yes.
And don't forget, we have coverage. We're starting our election coverage at 8 o'clock live.
Live.
Me and him.
And Brady Irwin.
And Brady Irwin's coming. I'm so excited.
I don't know who Brady Irwin is. Let's see. Well,
he worked for the hospital.
He did. And his father was a member of provincial parliament or was a member of parliament? Ron Irwin. Ron was also the mayor of Sault Ste. Marie.
Yes.
Was Brady ever a councillor? I don't know.
I don't.
We'll have to ask tonight when he comes in.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, I'll get a little history on Brady Irwin.
Yes.
How was your weekend, Luann?
Awesome. Very restful.
Was it?
It was just
nice. Saturday was a sunny day, wasn't it? Am I right? Yes, Saturday. It was cold.
Cold.
And it might have been a little, but I remember we worked in the yard a lot, so it seems to me like it was nice.
Oh, yeah, eh?
It's cold, but it was bright.
Oh, I don't remember.
What did you do? Were you inside? Maybe you were inside all day.
Yes, I was.
We worked very, very hard. We put all of our lawn furniture up in the pool house and took down all the fountains and, what else? Lots of yard stuff.
Wow, so you're done now?
Yeah, but I still got I can feel my cold going into my chest now. It's one of those stubborn ones. It's been hanging around in my throat for a while.
It has, eh?
And I just feel like it's moving on down.
Maybe you're not getting enough rest.
I feel like I am, though.
Do you?
Yeah, like I slept well last night. We had a great rehearsal, double day yesterday for Mamma Mia. It's really coming together.
A double day? What do you mean?
Well, we do 2 rehearsals on Sundays for Mamma Mia. So you go in at like 1:30 in the afternoon, rehearse until 5, and then you go back at 6:30 and rehearse until 10.
Holy moly, that's like a full-time job.
These guys rehearse. I mean, normally I'm the director, so you're expected to put a lot of hours in. But it's interesting being back in the cast again and realizing how much time these volunteers dedicate to entertaining the community, and talk about like talented, dedicated, and nice people.
Is it hard for you because you've been
to keep my mouth shut? Absolutely.
To listen to someone else?
Yeah, I have to. And it's not that it's not that everybody's not doing a great job. It's just we all have our different opinions and we have different styles of doing things. And so I have to constantly remind myself that not my show, not my monkeys, not my circus.
Yeah, but you know what? I would think that would be really difficult because you're all artists. So you, in your mind, must see the production going a certain way.
What's interesting is I know now also what it's like to be when someone's trying to explain their vision to you and you're kind of going, yeah, okay. And then when it finally, like now I totally see what it's going to, because you know, when you're rehearsing a show, you're rehearsing with masking tape on the floors.
Right.
You don't actually have a lot of set. Oh, isn't that nice, Michael? Thank you, because they are advertising with us. There's Mamma Mia, the poster coming up. Oh my gosh, in 3.5 weeks.
That's beautiful.
Anyway, it is, you have to pretend a lot to envision stairs and levels and stuff, and it's really hard to picture somebody else's vision when it's just tape on a floor. And now suddenly things are showing up like staircases and risers and benches and things. You're going, oh, now I'm starting to picture the levels in my mind. And then he talks about the lighting. Well, the lighting, one thing I can clue into because working on lighting design with people. But for your average Joe, and he says, now you're in a God light. It's like, what's a God light? Well, that's a light that comes directly down over top of you in a tight circle.
Oh, right? Yes. Yeah,
so there's anyway, no, I completely trust the vision of these people, and Lucas is doing a tremendous job. The choreography is great.
Awesome.
Kate Tappan doing the music with Ron Delson.
So how do you sing with your illness, with your cold issues?
I know what, that's one thing I learned earlier on is how to sing with a cold. And it's
really?
Yeah, you just let your voice go where it wants to go and don't push it beyond its limits. So I just sing lighter in my head voice, but you can hear, like when you have a cold, generally you're more resonant anyway. It's just a matter of just making aware of your throat. That's all.
What if you have to cough right in the middle of the number?
Oh, then you cough.
Yeah?
Yeah, or you try not to and you hold it till a spot where you can breathe. But if you have a tickle, there was a great story about Judy Garland singing live at Hollywood Bowl. And in the middle of a song, in one of her big notes, a moth flew in her mouth. She stuck it in her cheek and finished the song and spit it out after.
No way.
Yeah.
Stop it.
It's a true story. She's singing on the Hollywood Bowl, put it in the pocket of her mouth, finished the song,
Oh, imagine the little claws, like the little legs going.
Well, I think probably once it got in there, it couldn't move. Now you made me gross them out.
Right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's like, bleh.
hey, happy day to you.
Happy day.
It's National Nut Day.
Finally, I get a day. Finally. Do you know how long I've been working on this? Nut.
National Nut Day. Just so you know, go ahead and stay healthy. Eat nuts or legumes.
Nuts or legumes.
Legumes. Also, Foster Family Week this week.
Oh.
National School Safety Week.
Oh.
And Ontario Library Week. And we knew that because we had had somebody from the library. Lots going on at the library. Check it out. Great stuff going on. New York Times has a headline, has a story. They found a memo from the Trump administration. A memo. And the headline is, the transgender could be defined out of existence by the Trump administration.
Whoa.
The Department of Health and Human Services.
This is a memo circulating?
A memo that would have gender changed in the definition of the United States government to a biological, immutable condition determined by genitalia at birth. No matter what.
Boy, that sounds Big Brotherish, doesn't it?
No matter what you have done after you're born, if you're born with a penis or a vagina, you are, by this government's definition, if they get this passed, it would be, that's it. No ifs, no ands, no buts.
Where's the memo from, do you know?
From the Department of Health and Human Services.
Eee.
By the way, the director of the Department of Health and Human Services is a man named Roger Severino. Roger used to be the director of the Office for Civil Rights. No, he's the director right now, the Office for Civil Rights, which is part of that department.
Oh.
Roger used to be employed by the DeVos Center for Religion and Civil Society. DeVos, does that name ring a bell? Mm-hmm. Betsy DeVos, the minister of education, not the minister, they don't have ministers, they have... Anyway, secretary of the Department of Education, Betsy DeVos. Her father, who also started Amway, a billionaire in the States. So Richard DeVos, Betsy's father, started the Center for Religious and Civil Society. And this Roger Severino guy used to work for him, and now he is working as Department of Health. So we've got a DeVos who's in education. We've got somebody who used to work for DeVos who's now in the Department of Health and Social Services, and none of them want transgender. She doesn't want transgender in the schools. She doesn't want transgender bathrooms. Betsy's against transgender. Christian. Not, well, Christian, I should say evangelical, I guess. Right wing. I don't know.
My goodness.
Yeah, it's a takeover. That's what's happening, folks, in the U.S. of A. The far right, who don't believe in any of these things, who think it's all...
Is that not like 100 steps backwards?
Trump wants money, and the evangelicals want power, and they don't care how they get it.
Yeah.
Welcome to the USA Today.
Yeah, USA Today.
Welcome to Peel District.
I have a really weird thing to talk about.
What?
There's a new trend in cooking. Apparently, you know how... if the restaurant's big enough, you hire prep people, and all they do all day is chop.
Yes.
Yeah, and chop carrots and onions.
Yeah,
the prep people.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a new trend where people are chopping with their teeth.
And then spitting it out? I don't understand.
I don't either.
Who's doing that?
I don't know.
Do we have to worry about? Is that happening in this city?
No.
Okay, then I know. Okay.
No, but it's a new trend. So
you're getting paid to now.
Yeah.
Here's your onions.
Yeah. Now, it says it's a trend. I'm not sure how big of a trend that is, because I'm sure health inspectors would not. Could you imagine?
Oh, I just...
You have a big pussy canker in your...
Stop it! Oh, look! Oh, stop it!
See,
no, is that a video of it?
Look it, see?
Listen to me.
Right?
Right now.
Looks like she's hurling.
Why do you do this when people are eating breakfast? I don't understand. Have you no compassion?
Oh, come on.
Every morning.
People know us by now. They knew. They know.
They know not to eat when they watch our show.
Exactly. Wait till before or after.
Who wants to eat after you see that?
No, but what I'm saying, what if you have a big honking coleslaw and you're do you want to eat that stuff? This is something that we need to talk about.
Maybe you need to talk about it, but I don't need to listen. La 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 la.
I listen to all your crud.
I don't. What's a sous chef?
A sous chef is
before.
Yeah, the prep person.
Does sous mean before?
No, sous is under.
So a sous chef is under the chef?
Yes.
Hey, you!
No spit.
Chop faster!
Chop, chop, chop.
So a sous chef is not the same as a prep chef?
No, no. A sous chef is there to stand in. He's like a godfather or a godmother, she is.
A sous chef?
Because there's the chef, the executive
So chef is God?
Chef. And then when he's gone, or if he needs an extra hand in the final presentation.
That's when the sous chef comes in?
That's when the sous chef comes in.
I should know this stuff. I worked in restaurants, but I just don't. If it's not involving me directly, I don't really care. Did you ever work in
Really?
Did you ever serve food or drinks?
I worked at a steak, a Subway, Captain Sub. When I was
no, you did not.
And I worked the overnight shift.
Oh no! Which city?
Espanola.
No!
Right beside a bar, and you know.
You must have had all the drunks coming in for sandwiches.
Sandwich, and they're those big honking knives that you use to cut.
I had left
it on. I had left it on the counter, and one guy came in hammered and grabbed it.
That's why you should only chop food with your teeth.
Right.
Because then you can't get robbed by people with they can't grab knives, they'll just grab your dentures. Spit out your teeth. Now give me everything in the cash drawer.
Right?
Or I'll...
But yeah.
So
I was not a sous chef or a chef or
But you had a big knife.
I had a big knife.
Shouldn't have left it on the counter.
No, I learned
You know
my
that now
lesson.
married to Jim too. You put
put those things away. If I tick him off enough, one day he's gonna like
Oh, Halloween, the new movie.
Yes.
That's Psycho, I know, but Halloween, the new movie is out, and apparently it's kind of funny.
Really?
Jamie Lee Curtis is back. Of course, she was the original
With
heroine.
long hair. She has hair.
Yeah, which has got to be a wig because her hair is actually really short. So anyway, Jamie Lee Curtis is back starring in Halloween. I want to check it out.
Yeah.
And you can check out our show today. I have got Ethan Irwin from the Cadets on, and then Scarlett Maringer starring in the Gin Game for the Sault Theatre Workshop opens this week. We'll be right back with more Mornings with Luann and Tim after this. Very happy to welcome back on the program Ethan Irwin. Hi, Ethan.
Hello.
You were on the show before the summer.
Yes.
Right? And we talked about the fact, but let's talk about where you're from first. What is your division with the Cadets?
I'm part of the 155 Air Cadets.
155 Air Cadets.
Down on Pine Street.
Pine Street at the
Armories.
Armories. Yes. So when you came on the show back in the spring, you were getting ready to go away and get your, is it your license you just got?
Yes, my glider pilot's license.
Glider pilot's license. Okay, this cracks me up.
Yes.
You got your glider's pilot license before you got your car license?
Yes, I did.
So you were licensed to fly a plane before you could drive a car?
Yes.
I think I'd rather trust you with a car than a plane. My gosh. Let's talk a little bit about how you were able to go away. So, because you didn't have to pay anything.
No.
So you went away. Was it 6 weeks?
It was 6 weeks at Trenton Cadets Flight Training Center.
Where is that located?
That's in Trenton, Ontario.
Oh.
The training facility was called Mountain View Flying Training Center.
Mountain View Cadet Flying Training Center. Oh yes, I have it right in front of me. And it was the glider pilot's scholarship.
Yes. That's
because scholarship was you didn't have to pay.
No.
So how could you know how you could afford to go? Where'd the money come from?
It came from the Air Cadet League of Canada and a portion with the DOD, Department of Defense.
Department of Defense, right?
Yes.
Now the Air Cadets, you also work in cooperation with the United Way.
Yes.
Locally here in the Sault,
yes.
right? Can you tell me a little bit about how that partnership works? They help you fund stuff and then you raise money too with them, or how does that?
Yes, the United Way has been helping us for a very long time. They see how the cadet program inspires youth and promotes good citizenship. So we help them by doing tagging events. So we raise money to lower the cost.
Lower the cost. So they contribute, and then you also help raise money too. Now some of these expenses, I had no idea. Okay, you're wearing, you probably can't even see, which is a shame. We had to sit at a different set because we have the debates going on, so we're stuck behind this desk. Ethan went to all the trouble of wearing his full outfit. Should we stand up together?
Oh.
Let's stand up. There you go. You're just stuck. Standing on your cord. So you got the full kilt now.
Yes.
Here, that kilt, guys, $600, Ethan.
No.
Can you imagine that? And then, like for the full outfit, it says here to fully outfit a band member, it can be in the $2,000 range.
Yes.
So this is why you do the tagging, because it helps pay for things not covered by the Department of National Defense, like the kilts and the other dress items for the Highland Band. Do you play in it? You do. You play too.
Yes, I play the bagpipes for the Highland.
Yeah, because you did that the last time you were here. You piped us in.
Oh, yes.
Right? So how much time do you spend, for instance, when you break it all down, flying and then playing in the band and stuff? What's the sort of breakdown of time commitment for you then?
For me as an individual, you can do a little and you can do a lot.
Oh, so you can basically choose how much time you want to spend doing the different stuff. Okay.
Yes.
So what about for the band? Because you guys scored huge at competitions this year. We had
second in Ontario.
Second in Ontario. Plus you had some soloists who were like way up there, right?
Yes.
What was that guy's name that was here that did so well?
Tyler Duncan.
He was just here. I just interviewed him too. I should remember his name. Sorry, Tyler. So how much time would you spend then playing the pipes?
We have group meetings every Sunday at the armories.
Oh.
So then if we have any questions we'd like to ask, then we can do that to our instructors or meet more senior cadets.
Okay.
But we practice on our own a lot.
So okay, on your own a lot. Now, what about the flying part of it?
The flying part of it, that's well, there's different cadet programs. So there's Sea, Army, and Air.
Okay.
Air Cadet program is specialized towards aviation. Mm-hmm. So if you have an interest in that, then you go towards Air Cadet program.
So how often, how much time, when you, let's say in a week, how much of it is dedicated to just flying?
So like I said, you can do a lot of days at the cadet program.
Oh, okay. So once again.
Yeah, so we have every Wednesday night we have like training programs, so we cover the basics, so everybody knows how planes fly, how everything works on the plane, but you can go further in depth through our programs.
Is that the Dr. Roberta Bond, our Air Cadet training program? That's where you can go further, right?
There's one at the Bush Plane Museum.
You go to the Bush Plane Museum.
Where that's mechanical and you learn how the components are. And then we also have one at the Sault College where you learn about the flight aspect.
The flight aspect of it. And the one at Roberta Bondar, I hear it's very unique in this country because there aren't a lot of programs where cadets actually learn hands-on how to do repairs and maintenance. That's pretty unique, right?
Yes.
And there's a junior version of it too, right? Tell me about that.
Small engines.
Okay.
It's just a basic version of it. So instead of learning about the advanced portion of aircraft maintenance, you start out on the ground level about small engines and how the basics works.
All right. So basically, and this is all included like in your cadet training? This is, again, free?
Free, yes.
Remarkable. And then now the 6-week thing, how was that?
The 6 weeks was very fun, very fun.
I saw some video footage. It looked like you guys had a great time.
Yes.
This program's obviously been going on for a long time, and there are certain traditions. Did everybody get ice water dumped on them? I saw that.
Yes. After our first solo flight, so we start out in the year, we have instructors in the back seat, and they teach you how to fly. And the first time they allow you to go by yourself. Yeah. They after that
they dose you with ice water.
Ice water, yeah.
Oh, so nice. What a nice celebration. Now, those planes are ridiculous. No. Ethan, there's one wheel in the middle, and then one little itty bitty wheel on the tail. And you get pulled behind somebody else in a plane.
Yes.
And then once you're in the air, you're on your own?
Once you reach a certain height.
How high?
Depends on what you're doing.
So how high have you flown?
We've gone up to, I guess that's 3,000 feet above the ground.
You've done 3,000 feet? That's high. Okay, wait a minute. So, and you're just gliding?
Yes.
There's no engine. So when you're taking, I said to you, wait a minute, when you're taking off, then your life is like dependent upon the guy who's towing you. You said you have emergency training.
We practice if anything goes wrong, then we know what to do, and there's no questions asked in the air then.
All right. You have to land on that one wheel.
Yes.
Right? So you're balanced. What kind of controls are there in there? Is it all electronic and stuff? Even though there's no motor, do you still have an electronic panel and stuff that tells you all this stuff?
The only thing electronic in the airplane, in the glider, is the radio.
Come on! So, all of that stuff you go by sense and just by feel?
It's all mechanical in these gliders, and the only thing electronic that needs a battery is the radio. So it's all with basically like a joystick.
Well, so when you're up there, and you're 3,000 feet in the air, Is it like totally silent?
So when you take off the ground, you have the airplane towing you very fast,
right?
And when you disattach, you go a lot slower. So there's less sound then.
Less sound. Is it peaceful?
Yes.
You love it?
Yes, it's nice.
And then landing isn't an issue?
After they teach you, and there shouldn't be anything to fear about.
Holy smokes! Now what happens next for you? Now you have your glider's license. Now do your parents have to buy you a plane? How does this work? How do you get to keep practicing? Do we have gliders here?
There's gliding training centers all over Canada. So our local one here is in North Bay, Ontario, and then there's a couple down south in Southern Ontario.
So do cadets help you get, if you wanted to do more, will the cadets help you get to North Bay to keep on training and learning more?
Yes, there's sometimes I can when we have local gliding here, we go to North Bay, and then I'll tag along with them. And then if Sudbury wants me to come along, then I'll go along with them.
You love cadets, don't you?
Yes.
How many years for you now?
I believe I'd be going on my 4th year.
You've done a lot in 4 years. So what's the future hold for you then, Ethan? Now you're just turned 17. Do you see a future for yourself with air? Or
yeah, the aviation industry.
Do you think you'll stick around through college maybe, or any plans there? Given any thought?
Maybe Canada, or maybe maintenance export, or the flight inspect.
Amazing. So once again, if somebody's interested in joining the cadets, and you suggest this is a great thing for young people to get involved in, so many different things that can spark your interest in so many different areas, right? How do people get involved?
You can just come down every Wednesday night at 6:30.
Just show up at the Armory?
Show up at the Armory.
And let them know you're interested, and
yes, and then they'll...
See if it's a good fit for you.
Yes.
Hey, will you come back again and tell me what's going on in your future? Like if you go away to school, or if you get into school, let me know, keep me updated, because I think this is fascinating.
Okay,
thanks for your time. Always nice to see you. Ethan Irwin from the 155 Air Cadets?
Borden Gray Air Cadets.
Borden Gray, oh yes, we have to mention his name, because tell the story about Borden Gray.
Yes, so he was a World War II pilot, and then he died in World War II over the Atlantic Ocean. And
so your squadron's named after him?
Yes.
All right. All right. That's it for Ethan Irwin and the cadets. Thanks again for joining us. We'll be back with more Mornings with Luann and Tim right after this. Glide into the commercial now.
And welcome back to our Monday morning edition of Mornings with Luann and Tim on TV. You know the Khashoggi, the reporter that...
Oh, Jamal?
Yes, still.
The one who was executed?
Yes, now they're admitting that he has passed away.
Yeah. They're saying it was an accident still? Are they still saying it was an accident, that it was a fist fight?
After he went in, sometime later, a person who is a double left the building wearing his clothing.
So they took, oh my God. So they killed him and they took his clothes and put him on somebody else and had him leave the building to make it look like he actually exited?
Yes.
And they're saying that no one knew anything about this? Nobody knew. None of the higher ups knew.
No. It just, I don't,
and then you get the, who was the guy from I forget his name. He's once again evangelical. He's a televangelist, saying that, well, you know what? Just because this happened doesn't mean we should cut off all. That's a lot of money in arms sales.
Trump's been saying that right from the start.
But the religious people are saying just because they went rogue doesn't mean that we should cut off all that money that the U.S. is getting from selling them arms. We shouldn't. Angela Merkel's cutting it off, isn't she? Germany's not going to sell them arms.
No.
No, she's made the decision.
Yeah.
And there's what's left to? I don't understand the world. I don't understand the world.
I know, it's scary.
I made a little remark in the first thing about Peel Region. There's one of the people from the Peel Region School Board, Peel, like Toronto,
right,
wants to ban To Kill a Mockingbird from Ontario.
Again? Man, that's been like, I don't know how many times.
She says because it's written from the perspective, the eyes of white privilege. Well, Atticus Finch, the guy the lawyer, he wasn't white privilege. Honestly.
I'm sorry, I'm fixing my mic.
Oh, that's okay, Lou. Hey, you know what? On a happier note, let's change because I'm depressed now. Angela our content director, and her mother went to the matinee performance of the National Ballet at the Art Gallery, and I didn't get to it, unfortunately. You know, life gets in the way.
Yeah,
I was sick. And anyway, Angela said that it was just beautiful. It was an hour-long performance. It was performed, I guess there were white squares on the floor, and the dancers performed here for half an hour, then there for half an hour. She said it was beautifully done. But the thing that impacted me in her story was Angela's mother's a senior woman, and so she has a walker. So they allowed her in early, and she got to actually sit on her walker and get up front and watch. And Angela said that there were all kinds of young kids, like children there.
Oh, terrific.
And I said, were they engaged? And she said, well, they were certainly well behaved. So, and then our next guest, Scarlett Maringer, said maybe they were dance kids, you know.
Oh,
but anyway, they apparently loved the performance. And Angela's mother is sitting on her walker, and she said there was a little girl sat on the floor beside her and watched the thing. It was mimicking all the arm movements of the ballet dancers. How cute is that?
Oh my goodness!
I love when children
and the dancers were in amongst the people,
right up there, like in the middle of the art gallery on white areas. They were dancing.
Isn't that phenomenal?
Just to have youth exposed to that, to have children exposed to that in our community, I think. And
imagine watching them.
Yes, the Fall Festival does this all for us. Thank you to the Fall Festival.
Yes, Donna Helsinger.
Year after year, and all the volunteers that work for the Fall Festival too. And Rosetta Socoli is the president, so they bring great stuff.
It takes a village.
It does.
Yes, it does.
So now we have the news next with you. And then coming up, Scarlett Maringer, who's one of the two-hander, the Gin Game, Sioux Theatre Workshop. It opens this Wednesday, and I'll be interviewing Scarlett about her experience rehearsing for and getting ready for the show. So don't go anywhere. The news is next on Mornings with Lou Ann and Tim.
'Cause I love a rainy night. Yeah, I love a rainy night. Well, I love a rainy night. Well, I love. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy.
You know, I don't mind cold as long as I get sun. There's something.
Really?
Yeah. So this morning when you woke up, but the frost in the car, dark, cold. Ugh. Now the sun's coming up. You know what? It could be 0 degrees. It could be minus 10 and sunny, and I can handle it.
You know what? What if it's minus 40 and sunny?
No.
No, right?
Then I can handle it from inside my house.
Yes, it looks pretty.
I don't like, remember when, there was one thing I used to hate when I was a kid and we would walk to school in the morning on those really cold mornings. Well, it was a combination of things. I hated when my nose hairs froze.
Yes, yeah.
And then I also hated that sound of the squeak,
crunch,
squeak.
crunch, yes.
Oh, that was like styrofoam to me.
And having grown up in Espanola, you can imagine that at the mill, the pulp and paper mill, at that time when I was growing up was the KVP.
What's KVP?
KVP.
Would that stand for something?
That was the mill name.
Oh, just KVP.
Yeah. And you always knew when it was really, really, really cold out because the smoke would go like straight up from all the chimneys on our way to work, or on our way to school, and it reeked. Oh my word, it stunk.
Rotten eggs.
Stunk like,
sulfur.
Not even.
No.
Just poop. It did. It smelled like poop the whole time.
Well, now there's some
and
more
it doesn't
lovely
dissipate.
breakfast conversation for you folks.
Anybody prepping their food by chewing it and spitting it out right now? Right?
Scarlett, our next guest is sitting there going, what are you talking about?
Scarlett,
this is what I put up with in the morning. She talks about stuff like pointy. That's rude. I shouldn't point. This one here.
This one here. You know what? Big day. Big, huge day. Election day today.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm kind of like excited.
Kind of?
Well, I think
you've been gearing up to this forever.
But I think especially the mayoral race this year has been interesting, to say the very least. So, I have my candidates, so fingers crossed. And
you know what?
We're going to we start our coverage at 8 o'clock tonight. Tim and Brady Irwin and I.
Yes.
And then Riley.
Live.
Riley and Alex will come in and continue as the numbers keep coming in till the polls are all closed. So
I think we also have coverage coming from City Hall. Mike, is that still happening? Yes. We've got live coverage, simultaneous live coverage from City Hall.
And awesome.
And I'll bet we'll have somebody like Megan out running around doing other stuff too. So lots going on tonight, live on ONNtv. But coming up next, My guest, Scarlett Maringer, from the Sault Theatre Workshop's production of The Gin Game, which opens Wednesday.
Ooh.
We got lots to talk about, so don't go anywhere. You're going to love this interview because I love Scarlett Maringer. Coming right up on Mornings
with Luann and Tim.
Down by the sea, yeah, on a blanket with my baby.
Nice to have reunions on the show. It's always fun for me when I bring in people who are friends of mine that I've known for a number of years, and we're just reminiscing. Scarlett Maringer, 20 years ago, my directorial debut, Diane Wazinski and I co-directed, because we were both too scared to direct our show on our own, because the first time out. We directed Once Upon a Mattress for the Musical Comedy Guild, and you were in that show. I can still picture you, and you're in with a little veil going down the back.
Yes, my snood. Yes.
Well, now, Scarlett, are you originally from Sault Ste. Marie, or did you move here?
Actually, I was born in London, Ontario.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you came
I've been here most of my life.
Most of your life,
yeah, since I was about 10.
And I know your daughter. We worked together at Aurora's for a number of years. And your granddaughter, Paisley, right?
And I have a great-grandson.
You do not already?
I do.
Holy smokes.
Oliver Atlas.
Wonderful. Scarlett, now you've been involved in community theater, obviously, for over 20 years. Had you done shows before? I'm not familiar with before that. What
before that?
Before Once Upon a Mattress?
Actually, the first one I did was Evita. I costumed that.
With Judy Tambellini?
93
at that
people.
Time. She's Judy Holmes.
Do you remember how good she looked in that white dress and that
white
red
dress.
cape?
You know, I didn't live here then, so I didn't get to see that production.
Yeah, that was pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
That was one of the magic ones.
Did Richard Howard direct that?
Yes.
He did. The late great, eh?
Yeah.
So, Scarlett, now you're with the Sault Theatre Workshop for this production. You've done a number of productions for the Sault Theatre Workshop. Tell me a little bit about what people maybe don't know about what goes into putting on a show. Like, even for we call the Gin Game a two-hander because there's just two of you in the show. So it's considered a smaller show. But even still, let's talk a little bit about what goes into the process.
Well, first of all, the actors get the script, so they start working on the script because lines are hard work. And then when they get onto the stage with the director, they're working it. Then the set people come in, the costumers and the set people and the props people, and they start putting all the magic together. So people see this finished product and they think, well, that was good, or not, maybe not so good, or
fantastic in the case of...
They have no idea of all the hours and hours and hours that go into these things.
And volunteer hours.
Yes, absolutely.
And this is...
So, you know, people always think actors get the glory, and maybe sometimes they do, but they wouldn't have anything without those background people bringing all that magic together.
Sault Theatre Workshop is the oldest community theater organization in the city. I don't even remember how many years it is now.
I believe it's 70 this year.
Incredible. 70 years they've been putting on shows for the community.
Yep.
But even after all that time and after all your experience, there's a lot of firsts for you on this production.
Oh yeah.
This is the first time you've starred in a two-hander.
This kind of yeah.
Right, it's never just been you and somebody else on stage for the full two acts, has there? Not in your career?
No.
All right.
No.
Also, your first time starring, although you've done many productions with him, co-starring with Harry Houston. And your first time working with his brother, George Houston.
George is an absolute delight.
So, do you know, did George choose the script, or did George chose the script?
He's been waiting for the opportunity to do this. I mean, directors always do. They've got some special one they want to get in their career at some point.
Right. And for those who don't know, the Houston family, Edward is the patriarch, and then there's the brothers George and Harry.
Edward is 96 years old.
For heaven's sakes. And you were saying the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. The boys get a lot of their talent, their theatrical gifts from their dad.
Yeah.
George is a professional. George went on to work, a member of Canadian Actors Equity Association. I worked with George in Sudbury doing a production of Annie Get Your Gun a gazillion years ago. I was always struck by George's. He's a great character actor. Amazing energy, very intense. What's he like as a director?
Fabulous. He's so, he makes you stretch. You'll be doing a scene and so you're playing the scene with anger. And then he'll say, okay, let's try that again and soften that up a bit. So you do. you're flipping like this constantly, and then
he's having you
play it
see
as
the different
pathetic.
emotions.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
So yeah. So you go home at night exhausted.
He puts you through the emotional mill. That happens.
Fabulous. It feels very good.
Well, it's a great sign. It means you're really working all of those sense memories and all of that stuff. And if you're feeling all those, you're really feeling those emotions. If you're going home tired.
And you've got to process. Boom, 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 boom. It's great. It's so cathartic.
And then as a cast, as an actress, and George as a director, and you all come together and decide which one feels the best. I mean, he obviously the third eye. The director, you have to rely upon his judgment, but he gets you to try all kinds of different things. And that's fun too, isn't it?
Oh, is it ever?
Yeah. Now, Harry, we know, I mean, I've seen Harry so many times on stage throughout my lifetime. I remember watching Harry on stage as a teenager back when Sault Theatre Workshop used to work out of the theater at the Armory. At the Armory. I think it was Of Mice and Men. Oh my gosh.
George was in that, was he not?
I think George was George and Keith
Knight. Yeah.
The late Keith Knight. I think they won Quanta with that one.
I believe so.
That's how impactful. That's how impactful shows can be as a teenager. I remember sitting there going, so Harry in this show, what do you think? Oh, as your co-star.
We butt heads, but
you're supposed to.
Oh yeah, that's it's right along with the characters, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But yeah, very strong actor.
Yes. Is he fun to play with as an actor, like give and take and?
No, not so much because it's really set out. The character is set out.
Maybe we should talk a little bit about the characters.
He's a crotchety. Can I swear?
How?
He's
no
a
F-bombs.
crotchety old bugger.
Yeah, you can say that.
And she's very set in her ways, and she's kind of.
Your character's name is?
Fonzia Dorsey.
Fonzia Dorsey, and Harry's character is
Weller Martin.
And you meet?
At an old folks' home.
And you said low end.
Low end old folks' home, because we're both on welfare, you know.
Okay.
And we're the only ambulatory people there.
You're the only ones that can actually get around.
Yep.
So you sort of naturally gravitate to each other.
Yep.
And the common denominator is?
The game of gin.
All right. You always win. Your character always wins?
Don't give that
I shouldn't give too much away. So over the course of playing cards...
Well, he thinks he's pretty good, but seems like maybe I'm a little better.
Yeah. Over the course of the card games, you start talking about your past?
Yes, we do. And get to know each other's past, each other's little foibles. And
learn how to push each other's buttons?
Oh, yeah.
That's a big part of it too, isn't it?
Yeah.
That sort of antagonistic.
Yeah.
Even though you're alone in the world, and you were saying to me off camera that your character just wants companionship.
Exactly. They're both lonely people.
Are they both a little bit broken though?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. You know, everybody has their
baggage.
What is it? Their baggage, yes.
And we get to hear about yours over the course of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Are there moments of levity? Will there be laughter?
Yes, yeah. There are some. Actually, Harry's the one with the funny lines.
Is he?
Yeah, he has some very funny lines.
So now, what about sustaining the energy for two people on stage for an entire show? What is that? Is it?
You can't really help it. It can't drop because it's just, you know, you're playing the cards and the zing, 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 and
Hey, I just thought of something. I'm just imagining what it must be like. The card game itself, Scarlett, as an actor, is that difficult to do? Because you got to remember which hands you're playing and who's winning and what you're calling, and they're not the real cards in your hand.
Well, no.
The cards you have won't be the cards that you're talking about.
No, I know what you're saying. Yes.
Like,
if I'm talking about a king, it's not necessarily a king, but the audience can't see that.
Exactly, and then you have to pretend to know when you're going to call gin and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yes.
Which means that while the card game is going on,
that's part of the script, though.
It's all scripted in there. That sounds like a whole other play in itself, just the card game.
Oh yeah, trust me, it is.
It is, right?
Oh yeah.
Tell me about the Tuesday night, tomorrow night.
Okay.
I love this story.
Okay.
What you guys do.
Okay, this is our benefit night.
Yeah.
And it's we put this out on Tuesday evenings. It's a sort of a dress rehearsal, and we benefit all kinds of organizations. Like for instance, tomorrow night is Alzheimer's Society, and we give them 100 tickets, which they sell at the price we set.
Yeah.
And they get to keep all the money. We pay the royalties. They get a full show, and it helps benefit them financially.
So when you say we pay the royalties, just so the audience understands, every time you put on a single production, you have to pay money for the rights to put on a show, right?
Yes.
So the Sault Theatre Workshop is basically eating the cost of putting the show on, and the Alzheimer's Society gets the benefit of the sale of 100 tickets, all for themselves.
Yes.
And you guys get a great audience.
Exactly. It gives us a test audience.
Like a dress rehearsal with an audience, right? Yep. And then on Wednesday, it's the big opening night.
Big opening night.
Tickets are still available, Scarlett?
Yes.
Okay, so we've got a poster that we're going to put up online right now, on air, on camera, that'll show people. Okay. They can get their tickets at the box office in the Station Mall, is that right?
Yes, they can. And
which means you can also go online.
Yes, and you can get them at the door, but you would need to check in with Sandra Houston.
So, okay, and then the ticket prices are on the poster. We can see that as they put it up there. And you run Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday? And
Sunday afternoon.
And a Sunday matinee.
Yes.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Scarlett Maringer, co-star with Harry Houston in the Gin Game, directed by George Houston, opening Wednesday night at the Sault Theatre, what's it called? Sault Theatre Workshop on Pittsburgh Avenue.
Yes, 121 Pittsburgh.
8 o'clock curtain for the evening show is 2 o'clock matinee on Sunday. Tickets available at sctc.ca, I think, but you can check it out. Just Google the Gin Game Sault Theatre Workshop and you'll find it. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Tim.
Break a leg.
This is fun.
Isn't it? I know. Okay, break a leg and we'll see you right after the break.
Going up to the spirit in the sky. It's where I'm gonna go when I die. When I die and the name of do the walk of life. Yeah, do the walk of life.
Boy, time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it?
Really, doesn't it? Like Monday's done already. Well, for us.
Not really, because we're back at 8 o'clock live.
Yes, we get to work all day and then stay with you to do live coverage of the election tonight. Looking forward to it.
As the polls close and the vote and the numbers come in, we'll be here, Luann and I, followed by Riley and Alex after we leave at 9:30.
And Brady Irwin's going to join Tim and I for sure. He might stick around, depending on how tiresome we are.
How much we wear him out?
Yeah.
It ought to
quite a bit.
Well, you exhaust me every day. I know that.
Stay tuned, please, for live coverage of the election tonight on TV at 8 o'clock. Thanks for watching this morning.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.